Hello everyone, welcome to a new video. In this video I'll be showcasing the full build guide for the Lightning Companion Druid. It's a lot different than the Spiritborn. It's a very thematical build. It's not gonna push all the way to pit 150 like the Spiritborn, but it is a very nice change of pace. I'm here with my Wolfgang and Subo, and we're gonna show you guys how this build really works. If you guys liked or anything about the video, of course, please help the channel out. Like, comment and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Let's get right into the video. On the background I have some pit 75 gameplay. I will die a few times, of course. It is one of the highest pits I've gotten with this build. There is still a bit of min-maxing I can do with this build, but I don't think it's gonna reach more than I think like pit 90, pit 100 if I really min-max all of my stuff. But this is just something I put on the background. So let's get right into the build. It does use one mythic unique. I would say the Shaco is one of the more important ones. You do really want to get that cooldown reduction on there. You can of course get a helmet with cooldown reduction. A GA cooldown reduction helmet could really do quite a bit of the same. I would get like maximum life and armor, just like the Harlequin Crest has. You don't really care about the maximum resource, so that one is a quite nice thing to have. You could have like as a substitute. I think that would do well with either the aspect of mending stone, just making your earth and bulwark better, or taking the exploiter for dealing extra damage to enemies that are unbreakable or like unchained or whatever. That's unstoppable. That's the word I was looking for. And of course any of your master working attempts would be on cooldown reduction. Maximum life is also pretty decent, as you can see here. Then for your armor, I would say making a chest piece with the aspect Spirit Bond is really nice, just for the damage reduction. Tyrael's Might is also a very valid one. I have like Rakenov's Wake as boots, just because they give a lot of cooldown reduction and all res. This is just for capping the all res, especially in tier 4. It's very important. But if you have like a Tyrael's, then you can maybe get the capped all res already from there. Then I would say for boots, just get something with like movement speed and anything else you're missing. So let's say armor or all res. If you're still missing some of those stats, get that, and if not, get life and willpower. So you can switch out that a little bit. There's of course one other alternative. It's the Mad Wolf's Klee. You can get this as well instead of your chest piece. You will get +7 to your wolf skills, which is quite nice, although it is lacking a bit more in the survivability aspect, especially if you don't have a GA on the maximum life. Then I would just advise you to get something like a legendary chest with the aspect. And I'll go over the tempers in a bit later. Then for your gloves, of course, the Moon Rage, extra wolves, extra wolf companions, which will scale with your shepherd, and you want critical life, critical chance, max life, and attack speed on there. You don't really care about the core skills here. For your pants, these are amazing pants. You can give you +10 to wolves just right off the bat. It's crazy if you have a GA on there, and if not, +7 is still pretty good. Then you will get your wolf companions will be infused with the power of the storm, making them a lightning skill as well. This is why I also take lightning later on, which is quite nice. And of course, for the gems, you could just put willpower in there. As I said earlier, with the boots, Rakenov's Wake, you can also opt in for Yen's Blessing, but they don't have any cooldown reduction, and I really do appreciate any cooldown reduction we get, just to make our earth and bulwark up as much as the time. Then for your weapon, shepherds, it's very nice to have a two-handed weapon, just because you can get shepherds for the 20% instead of the 10%, or like the 15% on your amulet. So that is quite nice. And of course, just the chance for wolves to do double damage is just a temper, and you only need to hit it on one item. Of course, willpower is nice. Maximum life is very, very good. You can opt in to do like a one-handed and an offhand. Pretty decent. You can get cooldown reduction. That's quite nice too. So if you don't have it on your boots or whatever, you can have it on your totem. You can also get more crit chance on your totem. And I think for the third stat, you just want maximum life or even willpower just to get on there. Not the percentage damage. You don't want that. And the lucky hit chance is also pretty decent on there as well. And then for your amulet, Stampede, getting more bonus damage to companion skills. And you want either Envenom or the which one is the Call of the Wild passive points. You want that on your amulet as like a multiplicative damage, but if you can't get that, critical strike chance, cooldown reduction, movement speed even, although are all things that are quite nice on your build. I will go over the tempers on a bit later. For your ring, Alpha is pretty good. So you can make your wolf companions werewolves. This is where you see these big bad wolves next to me. Those are all because of this aspect, and it is quite nice and thematical that there are now big werewolves instead of just random wolves. You do actually spawn wolves on there as well, so you're certainly not even the spirit wolves sadly do not turn into werewolves, even though you have this aspect, but oh well. Critical strike chance and maximum life, very important, and attack speed or crit damage are also a nice third stat to get. And Mjolnir, just get this at 100%. That is more important than having a GA. Of course, crit chance, GA would be nice. Movement speed during Cataclysm is also nice, 35%. I believe if you have a GA, which is quite nice, just because Druid is quite slow and it's a bit of a refrigerator sometimes. So that is a nice buff to have in there. And let's think, yeah, for the tempers, I wanted to say a little bit. So for your defensive things, Earthen Bulwark cooldown is pretty good, but I would say for your amulets and ring, I would actually say Cataclysm cooldown reduction is good until you have 100% uptime for your Cataclysm, and then you can actually go back to the Earthen Bulwark again. I brick this one, but I would say I have 100% uptime on my Cataclysm, so I would say Earthen Bulwark cooldown reduction is nice for that. Then for your tempers of your offensive, so the other ones, I would say you want to reach the 300% damage against close and distant enemies, and once you have that and get the 60% from your Paragon board, from your legendary node, once you get that, then you can actually spec into critical strike damage. So everything will just be critical strike damage, and critical strike damage. And that will scale well with your Spiritborn as well, which will give you 30%. As for the runes, you can get the Vortex every time you cast cooldown. It's quite nice. Everyone's just pulled in. The wolves is quite a small AoE, so you can just hit it once. And for the other one, actually summon wolves. Why is this? Because all the wolves you summon with this extra account as extra companions. So that means you get more and more multiplicative damage every time you summon one of these wolves. And you can summon like one a second. If you run around, you'll just have a lot of these just attacking, and it's just a lot of extra damage on top of there. So that's very nice to have. Then for your spirit boons, awareness just for the extra damage reduction against elites. That's nice. At the beginning, you would want to do Scythe Talents until you get enough like critical strike damage in it and like critical strike chance. I would say if you get like 50% critical strike chance or like 60% and like 300% plus critical strike damage, then you could opt in for the Avian Wrath and just go full on that. Do remember that you do get 20% critical strike chance from your creeper and 8% from your birds, your crows. So you only need 72%, and then you're basically maxed out. For the wolf, you actually want to select this boon and then have Pack Leader and Calamity. Calamity increases your duration of your ultimate skill by 25%. That's quite nice to make it almost perfect uptime. And the Pack Leader just resets your skill constantly, and your unique pants actually increases by 100%. So 50% is quite a lot for lucky hit chance. Overload is just a little bit more extra damage. So that's that. As for abilities, I'll just quickly go over this. I always say quickly, but this time I really do try to mean it. Maul, just put the points in there. It doesn't really matter. Shred, you just would put the points in there just to get a little bit more dashes, and it's more of a mobility skill than a damage skill. And also it uses Spirit, which will give us damage from our Paragon. Then for your Bulwark, you just want to get some Fortify. I'll put all points into there just for more defensive skills. And also now I got 95% from my Bulwark. This is also why Shaco is so nice. It will give you extra levels in this and actually give you a lot more barrier. This is almost 100%. If I masterwork my chest a little bit more, it will be 100% and just give me a nice shield. And it has a 6-second cooldown, which is just enough for me to be like 50% of the time I'll be shielded, and the other 50% I'll be in mortal danger. Especially in the higher pits, it does get a bit scary sometimes. You want extra attack speed from the wolves, but mainly you just want the wolves to do a lot more damage, so you want all of the points in there. Get all the passive points in here. Don't get these two. You don't really care too much about these two. Although the damage against distant enemies is pretty decent. Usually you are distant, but with the Vortex you're not always distant, so it's a bit of a conditional damage. And then for these extra damage in there, more duration, very nice. If you're struggling with getting the permanent duration, try to get this, or try to get a GA on your Mjolnir. That will actually get more points into that one. Of course, putting points into the Cataclysm, you can put more points in it to reduce the cooldown even more. That's why there's 2 points in there. So I almost have it on permanent uptime. And just some extra damage in there. And for the final, key passive 1 with nature, 60% increased damage, and 1 additional companion, which is great for each of the companion skills. This is why I have 4 of the werewolves chilling with me. Then quickly going over 1 second. Yeah, okay, we're good on time. Quickly going over the Paragon. First of all, I took Fulminate, and then for the second board, Untamed and Earth and Sky. Then I went to the left and went and get Heightened Malice and the Keeper on the Keeper passive board. Then on the next board, this is a Thunderstruck. This is what I was talking about earlier, where you actually want that like 60% multiplicative damage by getting the damage against close and the damage against distant enemies. Once that is 300%, then you get 20% of that, which is 60% damage bonus, which will also come with some of the nodes that are in here. So do note that you need to get those nodes, or maybe get a little bit more intelligence, willpower, and that kind of stats to activate all of those nodes. And then for your final board is the Ancestral Guidance board. This is why also you're still running Shred. It not only teleports you, but it also spends spirit, so you can then actually get that spirit back, or not, you don't get the spirit back, but you get the damage from it back every 5 seconds. So do remind that you need to attack a little bit every few seconds. And then of course the wilds for extra companion skill damage. I think I didn't say, but it is a spirit. Spirit is very important just to get that extra crit damage, and that one's very nice. Just a little bit on the skill, or like the Paragon leveling order. Like nodes like these, you want to get those after you've gotten all of the glyph sockets. So first, of course, get all of the glyph sockets and all of the legendary ones. You want to get those, and then afterwards, once you've gotten that, I would say get like all of the side nodes. So I'm currently leveling up to get this one, restorative, to get that 8% extra maximum life. So you can still improve it a little bit more, but I think the cap for this build is probably around pit 90, pit 100. Of course, for the mercenaries, I got Subo, but to be honest, Rahir is, I think, the best one. You can even get some more armor. So in tier 4, you can get that armor cap easier. And also Altkin for the second one, just for more damage reduction, is pretty good. Okay, so that's it for the build. This time I've already did a take, but that took like half an hour. So I really wanted to make this under 15 minutes for you guys. I hope you guys appreciated the video. It was some pit tier 75 that I was doing, but I think you can push this build to like pit tier 90, roughly. And maybe get to pit tier 100 if you get like another mythic unique in there. But I think this is pretty far for the build I'll take. And I'll try to go for the Lightning Storm build just to see how that one goes. So I'll be streaming to that later today and also tomorrow. So I will see you guys then. I hope you guys enjoyed the video as well. For the last time, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.